My child, silence the urge to defend yourself right now. Before you respond, before you explain, before you compose the perfect answer in your mind, anchor your spirit. Because the whispers around your name are not a signal for you to engage. Maybe you noticed it this week, a shift in someone's tone, a conversation that went quiet the moment you entered the room. Words online that felt strangely aimed. Maybe you heard that people have been discussing you, questioning your choices, trying to interpret your silence. Do not rush to explain yourself. Stay with me all the way to the end, because I am going to show you why the wisest thing you can do with most whispers is refuse to give them your voice. Let me tell you why they are whispering, because it is not what the enemy is telling you. They are whispering because they cannot easily predict you anymore. They expected you to react, and you became still. They expected access, and you drew a boundary. They expected you to reveal your next move, and instead you learned to protect what I am building in you. Their whispering is not evidence that you did something wrong. It is often evidence that you changed in a way they cannot control. And when a person can no longer manage your reactions, they will sometimes try to manage your reputation instead. So do not hand them the thing they could not take. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. If your spirit is steadying even now, somewhere in the comments type "This is my season," and let your first act be stillness instead of defense. Think back to that moment this week when you typed a response. Read it twice and deleted it. You may have told yourself that was weakness, that a stronger person would have set them straight. But hear me, my child, that restraint may have protected your peace, your reputation, and your future all at once. Your silence was not surrender. It was strategy. My word says that even a fool who keeps silent is considered wise, and when he holds his tongue, he is thought discerning. There is a kind of intelligence that does not need to win the room. It knows that not every accusation deserves a courtroom, not every rumor deserves a response, and not every person who mentions your name has earned access to your voice. Let me show you a king who understood this when it cost him everything too. When David was fleeing, humiliated, already at his lowest, a man named Shimei came out and walked alongside him, cursing him, throwing stones and dust, calling him a man of blood, kicking him while he was down. And one of David's men said, "Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over and take off his head." David had the power to silence that mouth in an instant, but he would not. He said, "Let him curse, for the Lord has told him to. It may be that the Lord will see my affliction and repay me with good for the cursing I am receiving today." Hear the strength in that restraint, my child. David did not silence the slander with the sword he carried. He let the insult stand, and he handed the whole matter to me, trusting that I saw the injustice and would settle it in my own time. And I did. The man who cursed a king in his weakness later came crawling back to beg for his life. You do not have to answer your Shimei. You do not have to send your men to silence the mouth that curses you. Let it curse, and let me see your affliction, and let me repay you with good. Because a matter left in my hands is settled far better than a matter you win with your own tongue. And my son, who could have called legions to defend him, showed you the same silence at the highest cost. When he stood before the governor, accused by many, my word says he gave no answer, not even to a single charge, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Amazed, my child, because the world has never known what to do with a person who will not defend themselves. Everyone expects the accused to fight back, to argue, to prove their innocence with a flood of words. But my son stood in the storm of false accusation and answered with a stillness that unsettled the very man holding his life. He was not silent because he had no defense. He was silent because he had already entrusted his defense to me. That is the silence I am forming in you, not the silence of the defeated, but the silence of the one who knows their vindication is coming from a higher court than the one currently trying them. If you can receive that you are not weak for staying quiet, type, "I am not what they say," and let their labels fall to the ground, and do not believe the lie that restraint will cost you the ground you were meant to inherit. My son said, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." The world hears the word meek and imagines weakness, a doormat, a person too timid to stand up for themselves. But that is not what meekness is, my child. Meekness is strength under control. power brought under my government, a force that could strike and chooses restraint. It is the warhorse trained to stand still in the noise, the strong hand that knows exactly when not to close into a fist. And to that kind of strength, the kind that does not have to prove itself in every skirmish, I promised the inheritance of the earth itself. The ones grasping and clawing and defending and dominating do not inherit in the end. The meek do, the ones secure enough in who I made them to hold their power quietly. So your restraint this week was not you losing ground. It was you qualifying for an inheritance the loud and the reactive will never receive. Stay meek, my child, in the true sense, strong and self-controlled, and watch how much I place into the hands that refuse to grab. If this is reaching the place it was sent for, then stay close to this voice for the road ahead. The next word I have for you is about how I defend a name that refuses to defend itself. The exact way I vindicate the ones who stay silent and let me be their answer. Hit the follow button so it reaches you, because the temptation to pick up your own defense will come again. And I want the next word already in your hands when it does. Now let me warn you about the exact place where many of my chosen ones lose their authority, because I do not want you to lose yours. They hear that others are talking, and suddenly they begin performing for an audience they were never sent to impress. They explain their heart to people committed to misunderstanding it. They defend a character that I am already protecting. They walk into conversations designed to drain them, and then wonder why their clarity disappeared. My child, you cannot build an altar in every place where someone misrepresents you. You cannot spend your one life standing at the fence arguing with people who do not understand the seed, while the field I gave you goes uncultivated behind you. The enemy would love to trade your mantle for a microphone of self-defense, because every hour you spend proving yourself is an hour stolen from the work you were actually called to complete. If you can feel that pull to explain and choose the field instead, type, "I see the difference," and turn your back on the fence. There is a holy economy to your attention, my child. What you spend on it cannot be recovered in the same form when you pour your attention into gossip. You give your emotions to something that was never authorized to shape you. When you pour it into prayer, obedience, and meaningful work, you place that same energy into soil where it can multiply. My son did not stop his journey toward the cross every time someone misunderstood his mission. He kept moving toward the Father's will. And when he stood before his accusers, my word says that like a lamb before its shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. And when he was reviled, he did not revile in return, but entrusted himself to the one who judges justly. That is the pattern, my child. Not a weak silence, but a trusting one. A silence that hands the verdict to me instead of scrambling to win it from them. If you are ready to entrust your case to me, type, "I release the need to prove," and let your defense become my responsibility. My word gives you a promise made for exactly the person standing in the middle of whispers. It says, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your vindication like the noonday sun." Read that slowly, my child. Your righteousness is going to be brought forth as the light. Not shouted, not argued, not forced, but revealed the way morning is revealed. Quietly, certainly, unstoppably, until it stands over your life as plain as the sun at noon that no one can deny. You do not have to manufacture that dawn. You only have to commit your way to me and keep living faithfully in the dark. And the vindication rises on its own, right on time. And there is another word wrapped around you like armor. No weapon formed against you will prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you will show to be in the wrong. Notice what I did and did not promise. I did not say no tongue would rise. Tongues will rise. Words will be spoken in rooms you are not in. What I promised is that they will not prosper, that they will not accomplish what they were sent to accomplish, that they will not have the final say. So do not spend your strength trying to answer every tongue. Bring it to me, and let me be the one who clears your name in the light of day. For I defend my children far better than they can defend themselves. And there was a young man who was falsely accused and had every right to shout his innocence, and did not. When Joseph was lied about by a powerful woman whose advances he had refused, he was thrown into a prison for a crime he did not commit. And my word does not record a single speech of self-defense from him. He did not spend his years in that cell rehearsing his case against her. He simply remained faithful in the place the lie had put him. And my word says that I was with him there, and I gave him favor even in the prison. And in my time I brought him out of that very cell and set him over a nation. Hear this, my child. The false accusation did not derail Joseph's destiny. It relocated it. The prison the lie built became the exact room where the door to the palace opened. So when a whisper puts you somewhere you did not deserve to be, do not waste the season screaming your innocence at the walls. Stay faithful where you are, and let me be with you in it, and watch me turn the very place the lie sent you into the place I lift you from. And my child, as this settles into you, let me widen your heart towards someone else. Because a word like this was never meant to stop with you. Somewhere out there is a chosen one being whispered about right now, sitting in the sting of a room that went quiet, about to pick up a defense that will cost them their peace. This work exists to carry a word like this into that exact moment, the way it reached you today. And behind every one of these words is prayer and preparation, and the faithful partnership of people who received something real and chose to carry it forward. If it is on your heart, you can sow a seed into this work in their name, not to purchase anything from me, for I never sell what I give freely, and not from any fear that keeping what you have would cost you, because it never could. Your worth to me was settled long before you had anything in your hand. But if you would help this word reach the one about to defend themselves into exhaustion, you may visit the link in the description below, or scan the code on your screen. Give what your spirit confirms, and nothing more. Now let me draw a line for you that will save you years of unnecessary conflict. The line between discernment and defensiveness. Defensiveness says, I must prove that I am good. Discernment says, my character does not depend on their agreement. Defensiveness reacts from the fear of being rejected. Discernment responds from peace, even when the truth requires a boundary. And hear this, my child, a boundary is not a punishment. Silence is not always manipulation. Distance is not automatically pride. Sometimes a door closes because I am protecting the room inside you where new life is forming. You can forgive someone without restoring their access. You can wish them well without walking back into the environment that broke you. You can love people and still obey my instruction to walk away. So stop believing that if people just had more information about you, they would finally stop judging you. Some people do not judge you because they lack information. They judge you because your existence confronts a limitation they made peace with in themselves. If you can hold a boundary without hatred in it, type I will not engage, and let the closed door be my protection, not your punishment. Let me remind you of what I did at the sea, because it is the picture of the stillness I am asking of you. When my people were trapped, an army closing in behind them, water in front of them, no way out. They began to panic and cry out. And my servant told them, do not be afraid, stand firm. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Hear that, my child. In the moment that most demanded frantic action, my instruction was stillness, because the battle was mine and not theirs, and I opened the sea. There are battles I am asking you to step out of, not because you do not matter, but because they are mine to fight. And I fight them far better than you can. When you take the whispering into your own hands, when you rush to answer and argue and expose, you tie my hands because I will not compete with your striving. But when you step back and are still, you free me to move on your behalf in ways you could never arrange. So be still in the fight that has exhausted you. Let me be the one who contends with those who contend with you. Your stillness is not surrender, my child. It is the highest form of trust. And it is exactly where you will finally see me part a sea and guard the one weapon that can undo all your restraint, which is your own mouth. My word says, set a guard over my mouth, Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips. And it is a prayer worth praying every morning before you enter the day, because you can hold your silence for 100 small provocations and lose everything in one unguarded sentence. My word says a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs it up, and that the tongue of the wise brings healing, while reckless words pierce like a sword. You have felt both, my child. You know the sentence that healed you and the sentence that cut you, and you remember which you carried longer. So when you must speak, and there are times you must, let it be a soft answer, a healing word, spoken from the wisdom under my government, and not from the sting of the moment. Ask me to set the guard over your mouth, not so you become silent and cold, but so that the words you do release carry my healing and not your wound. If this is landing deep, then do not lose this voice as you walk it out. The word after this one is about how I rebuild your discernment daily, the way I keep it from hardening into suspicion. Hit the follow button and turn on the bell, so the next word finds you before an old wound tries to convince you that everyone is an enemy. Understand why your growth provokes them, my child, so you stop taking it as a verdict. When a person grew comfortable with your former weakness, your healing can feel to them like rejection. When they benefited from your inability to say no, your boundaries can sound to them like betrayal. When they depended on your confusion to feel secure, your clarity can seem offensive. But their discomfort is not proof that your obedience is wrong. A butterfly cannot climb back into the cocoon just because the caterpillars feel abandoned. So do not make their discomfort your emergency, and do not be shaken by the fact that you are being spoken against at all, because my son told you plainly it would come. He said, "Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely, on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Hear what he did there, my child? He took the very thing that feels like a curse, being lied about, being spoken against falsely, and he called it a blessing. And he told you to rejoice, not because the lies feel good, they do not, but because being falsely accused for walking with me places you in the exact company of every prophet who ever carried my word. The false whisper does not push you outside the line of the faithful. It places you inside it. So when the evil is spoken about you falsely, do not read it as a sign that you have failed. Read it as the ancient mark that has always fallen on the ones who would not conform, and let the reward being stored up for you, where no whisper can reach it, matter more than the verdict of a room that will not last. And understand the mechanics of the fire you are tempted to feed. My word says that where there is no wood, a fire goes out, and where there is no gossip, a quarrel dies down. It also says that a gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Think about what that means for the whispering around you, my child. A fire needs fuel to keep burning, and your reaction is the fuel. Every time you answer the rumor, defend against the whisper. Feed the drama with one more response. You are carrying wood to a fire that would have died on its own. But when you refuse to add fuel, when you simply keep living faithfully and let the accusation find no response to feed on, the fire has nothing left to burn, and it goes out, often faster than any defense could have put it out. So stop carrying wood to the fire that is trying to consume your name. Starve it of your reaction. A quarrel with no fuel dies down, and a whisper with no answer eventually has nothing left to say. And yet, my child, here is where you must stay humble, because not every voice speaking about you is only envy. My prophet Nathan confronted David, and David needed to listen, and his kingdom was saved by the fact that he did not defend himself against a true word. So there will be voices that correct you because they love the truth, and voices that criticize you because they resent the evidence of your transformation, and wisdom does not treat them the same. A loving correction may sting, but it leaves you more whole. A malicious accusation leaves you pressured to abandon your own conscience. One invites growth, the other demands self-betrayal. Ask me to help you know the difference, and do not let your pride reject a Nathan just because you have grown tired of being questioned. If you want that clean discernment, type "My peace is mine to guard" and ask me for it now. My word gives you a simple order for every conversation that tries to pull you in, and it is the opposite of how the flesh wants to move. It says, "Let every person be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger." Quick to listen, my child, because sometimes the whisper carries a grain of truth your pride does not want to hear. Slow to speak, because the words released in a hurry are the ones you spend years wishing you could gather back. And slow to anger, because anger has never once produced the righteousness of God, no matter how justified it felt in the moment. My word also says that a fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise person quietly holds it back. Notice, it does not say the wise person has no feeling. The wise one feels it fully and holds it back, chooses when and whether to release it, governs the spirit instead of being governed by it. That is the difference between venting and stewardship. The world will call you weak for holding it back. My word calls you wise. So be slow, my child, slow to speak, slow to react, slow to conclude. The speed you have been taught to admire is the very thing that has cost so many chosen ones their peace and their witness. And it is worth learning when to overlook a thing entirely, because not everything that could be addressed should be. My word says it is to a person's glory to overlook an offense, that the one who covers a matter seeks love, but the one who repeats it separates close friends. There is a maturity, my child, that can see the offense clearly, feel it honestly, and still decide that the most powerful response is to let it pass without ceremony. Not because you are pretending it did not happen, but because you have weighed it and found that answering it would cost more than absorbing it. My word even says, do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you will become like him yourself. Because there is a kind of argument that lowers you to the level of the one who started it, and the moment you climb down into it, you have already lost whatever you say next. So learn the glory of the overlooked offense. Learn which battles are beneath the calling on your life. Some things you conquer not by fighting them, but by being too far up the mountain to be reached by them. Because here is the deeper danger, my child, deeper than engaging the wrong people. The greater danger is that you will let their words become the voice inside your own mind. They may whisper outside of you, but if you begin repeating those whispers internally, they have already gained the access they wanted. They call you arrogant, and you begin shrinking. They call you difficult, and you begin abandoning your boundaries. They call you changed, and you begin apologizing for becoming healthy. Be careful what you rehearse in the secret chambers of your mind, because a repeated lie begins to sound like intuition, and a label placed on you in anger becomes a prison the moment you keep wearing it. So pray as the psalmist prayed, "Search me, O God, and know my heart." Invite me to examine not only the accusations made against you, but the motives within you, and to lift out the hunger to be admired, the craving to be vindicated, the quiet wish to punish people with your silence. You are not required to answer every voice that speaks about you, but you are responsible for which voices you give a home inside you. And there is one more soul I want you to carry, so let me widen your heart again. There is someone who has already let the whispers move inside them, who is rehearsing an accuser's words as though they were their own name. Send this word to them not out of obligation, but because it might be the thing that helps them evict a voice that was never theirs. If your spirit moves you, you may also sow a seed into that work through the link in the description or the code on your screen, not as a payment. For what I give freely, and never from fear of loss, because a closed hand is as loved by me as an open one. But if you would help this word reach the one repeating a lie in the dark, give what your spirit confirms, and let even the giving be an act of the peace you are learning. Now I have to tell you the truth that most messages will not, because I love you more than I need you to feel flattered. The whispers are not always proof that you are being attacked. Sometimes they are showing you where you still need healing. And if you interpret every uncomfortable conversation as persecution, you will miss the correction hidden inside the conflict. There are moments when the most spiritual thing you can do is admit that you were wrong. There are moments when being called dangerous has nothing to do with your wisdom and everything to do with the sharpness of your tongue. There are moments when you are not being misunderstood, my child. You are being invited to mature. My servant Joseph had real discernment, but he still had to grow beyond announcing every dream before he understood the cost of carrying it. David was truly anointed, but he still had to learn restraint while Saul hunted him. Anointing does not remove the need for character. A gift can open a door, but only maturity can keep you from destroying what the gift helped you enter. You may see accurately and still speak carelessly. You may be right about the situation and wrong in the spirit you carry the truth in. So let me examine the fruit of your insight with you, because that is where you will know the difference. If you are willing to be examined and not only vindicated, type silence is my strategy, and let me search the root of your discernment. And here is the test, my child. the one my word gives plainly. The wisdom that comes from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruit. Read that carefully because it tells you what real spiritual intelligence looks like. It is not weak, it is peaceable. It is not naive, it is gentle. It is not a pushover. It is willing to yield when yielding is right, and full of mercy toward the very people who do not deserve it. That is the dangerous kind of smart, my child, not the sharpness that wins arguments and leaves wounds, but the wisdom under my government that could cut and chooses to heal. A tree is known by its fruit, and so is your discernment. So ask honestly, does your insight make you more patient or more contemptuous? Does it help you protect the vulnerable, or does it make you feel superior to the unaware? Does it lead you toward truth, or does it give you permission to punish people silently? If your insight produces constant anxiety, contempt, isolation, and the rehearsing of revenge, bring it back to me, because that is not yet the wisdom from above. If it produces courage, compassion, restraint, and mercy, then it is being purified, and you are becoming the rare thing, someone sharp enough to see everything and gentle enough to be trusted with it. And do not let your intelligence make you inaccessible to love. Some of my children have become so skilled at recognizing manipulation that they can no longer receive sincerity. They can name every possible betrayal but cannot rest in a simple act of care. They analyze every kind word for the hidden motive until they cannot be reached by kindness at all. That is not always wisdom, my child. Sometimes it is fear using intelligence as camouflage. A healed mind does not become naive. It becomes peaceful. It can recognize danger without building a home inside suspicion. It can set a boundary without turning every person into an enemy. It can say no without hatred and yes without losing itself. A guarded heart may call itself discerning because both fear and wisdom pay attention, but fear looks for danger even in the safe place, while wisdom stays present enough to recognize grace when it finally comes. I am not asking you to throw away your discernment. I am teaching you to take the chains off of it so you can be alert without being anxious, cautious without being closed, and strong without becoming hard. If you are ready for me to unchain your discernment, type "Search me, O God, and let me heal the part that cannot receive." If this word has found the deep place, then let me keep speaking into your days. The next word is about how I rebuild you in the ordinary mornings, the hidden practices that become the authority others later call intimidating. Hit the follow button so it reaches you, because the strength that carries you in public is always built in the quiet. No one applauds. Now, let me name the real battle, because it is not the one you have been fighting. The real battle is over your attention. Whoever controls your attention can influence your emotions, your decisions, and eventually your direction. This is why the enemy does not always need to destroy you. Sometimes he only needs to keep you preoccupied with people who are not part of your assignment. While you study their behavior, your purpose waits. While you decode their motives, an opportunity passes. While you rehearse what you should have said, the next instruction from me arrives quietly and goes unheard. A distracted chosen one can be delayed for years without ever being defeated. So reclaim your attention, my child. Give your first thoughts of the morning to me, not to the people who may be discussing you. Do not wake and immediately search for signs of disrespect. Do not begin your day by mentally re-entering rooms you are no longer meant to occupy. Remember that I fed my people manna daily, and they could not live today on yesterday's portion. Your clarity is gathered the same way. You cannot live today on yesterday's discernment. So before you ask what they are saying, ask what I am saying. Attention is a form of worship, and you were never meant to kneel before voices that have no authority over your future. And let time do the work that your defense never could, because time is a witness you cannot bribe, and they cannot silence. My word says, judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes, who will bring to light what is hidden in darkness, and expose the motives of the heart. And then each will receive their commendation from God. Hear the patience in that. My child, there is an appointed time when the hidden things are brought into the light, when the true motive behind every whisper is exposed, and it is not a time you have to force. My son told a story about a field where an enemy sowed weeds among the wheat while everyone slept, and the servants wanted to rip the weeds out immediately. But the owner said no. Let both grow together until the harvest, because pulling the weeds too early would tear up the wheat with them. Then, at the harvest, the sorting would be complete and certain. My child, you have been tempted to rip up every weed of accusation the moment it appears, to sort the truth from the lie by force, right now in front of everyone. But some things I sort at the harvest, not in the heat of the moment, because forcing it early would tear up good things along with the bad. Trust the harvest. Let the wheat and the weeds grow visible side by side for a season, and let the appointed time reveal which was which. Your consistency will testify. Your fruit will speak. The years will say what your defense never could. And when you do speak into it, let even your words be seasoned with grace. My word says, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer each person. Salt does two things, my child. It preserves, and it flavors, and a word seasoned with it neither rots into bitterness, nor comes out flat and lifeless. There will be moments you must answer. A question that deserves a response. A person who genuinely seeks to understand. And in those moments I am not asking you to be silent. I am asking you to let grace season the answer so that even your correction carries a flavor of mercy, and even your boundary is spoken in a way that leaves the door open for the ones who are actually willing to walk through it. Gracious speech is not weak speech. It is speech under my government, salted with mercy, strong enough to tell the truth, and kind enough to be received by anyone humble enough to hear it. And this is why your private practices matter more than the public ones. Prayer when no one is watching, study when no one applauds, rest when you could be proving yourself. These quiet decisions are where the authority people later find intimidating is actually formed. They see the still water and call it strange, but they do not see the storms I calmed beneath the surface. The nights you wept before me, the mornings you began again, the private battles you fought just to keep your heart from becoming like the ones who wounded you. The oil in the lamp is gathered in secret, my child. The strength that carries you publicly is built in the ordinary, unwitnessed moments. The decision not to send the message, the choice to close the application. The morning you rose and opened my word while your emotions were still heavy. I see every one of those hidden obediences, and what looks small in your hands is becoming the foundation of a testimony no whisper can undo. Now we reach the confrontation, my child, and I need you to receive it as love. You may have believed the thing blocking your elevation was their gossip, their jealousy, their inability to recognize you. But what if the deeper obstruction is your own need to be recognized by them? What if the conversation keeps replaying because a part of you is still trying to extract worth from people who were never assigned to confirm it? That is the hidden root. Not their rejection, but your agreement with the idea that their rejection makes you less chosen. Not their inability to see you, but your willingness to keep standing in front of people who cannot see, begging them to describe your face. You keep returning to the same emotional courtroom, hoping the jury will finally pronounce you innocent. But I did not create you to live before a jury of unstable opinions. Your worth was settled before their approval was ever offered. Look at Hannah, who was provoked year after year by a rival who had what she longed for. Before her prayer was ever answered, she had to reach a place where her worship was no longer controlled by her rival's provocation. She brought her pain to me, and my word says that when she left the temple, her face was changed before her circumstances were. She left the room internally long before anything outward shifted, because she stopped letting another person be the author of her worship. That is the freedom I am forming in you. If you are ready to stop needing their verdict, type "I choose peace over proof," and let me be the only jury your heart answers to, and keep your hands clean while I do it. My child, do not retaliate through a screen. Do not release private things because you feel betrayed. Do not turn a platform into a courtroom where every unnamed person becomes a target. If I want to vindicate you, I do not need you to become reckless to do it. My word says, "Vengeance is mine. I will repay." And it says that if you commit your way to me, I will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, and your vindication like the noonday sun. You do not have to shout your innocence. You only have to live it, and let me raise it like the morning where everyone can finally see it. And if you are tired, do not make permanent decisions from exhaustion. When my prophet Elijah was worn down and certain he was alone, I did not shame him. I fed him, I let him sleep, and only then did I redirect him. A tired spirit can turn a question into a threat and a delay into a rejection. So rest before you sever everything. Heal before you label every person. Let me restore your inner witness before you make a decision you cannot easily undo. And let me give you the posture my servant Paul carried, because he lived under whispers his whole ministry and never let them make him bitter. He wrote it plainly. When we are reviled, we bless. When we are persecuted, we endure it. When we are slandered, we answer kindly. Read the three of them, my child, because they are a masterclass in the dangerous kind of smart. Reviled, and he blessed in return, refusing to hand back the poison he received. Persecuted, and he endured, refusing to collapse and refusing to retaliate. Slandered, and he answered kindly, meeting the lie not with a sharper lie but with a gentleness that exposed the difference between him and his accusers. This is not weakness, my child. It takes far more strength to bless the one reviling you than to revile them back. More discipline to answer a slander kindly than to answer it in kind. Anyone can return fire for fire. Only a soul under my government can return a blessing for a curse. And every time you do the one thing the darkness cannot copy. You refuse to become what came against you. Reviled, you bless. Persecuted, you endure. Slandered, you answer kindly. That is the intelligence heaven calls dangerous, and it will outlast every clever word your accusers ever spoke. So place your hand on your heart, my child, and receive this as your own. You release the need to answer every whisper. You release the burden of proving your worth to people who cannot recognize what I am forming in you. You ask for wisdom without pride, discernment without suspicion, boundaries without hatred, and courage without revenge. You will not let gossip govern your attention or rejection define your identity. You choose to become whole, not merely impressive. You will use your mind to build, your voice to heal, and your silence to protect what is sacred. You trust me to defend what I appointed, and you step forward in peace. And the dangerous kind of smart you carry is not the sharpness that wounds. It is the wisdom from above, pure and peaceable and full of mercy. Under my government, and it terrifies the darkness precisely because it refuses to become like the darkness. Receive that, my child, and let it be sealed over your life. And now, one last word, gently, about the seed. This channel runs only through the ones who choose to carry it, through the link in the description or the code on your screen. And whatever you are able to leave, however small, genuinely helps this word keep reaching the next chosen one being whispered about tonight. Do not give from obligation. Give because this message met you at your exact point of need and named what you had no words for. Think of the one whose face has stayed with you through these words. Give what your spirit confirms and then rest. So walk forward now, my child. Let them whisper while you become consistent. Let them speculate while you become whole. Let them misunderstand while you obey. The seed does not stop growing because someone standing over the soil cannot see its roots. The river does not argue with the stone. It simply keeps flowing until the stone is shaped by what it could not stop. So keep flowing, keep obeying, keep becoming. Your life will one day answer the questions your mouth could never resolve. And on that day you will be glad you gave your silence to me instead of your defense to them. What I have begun in you, I will complete.